Okay, this is me. I'm immediately on board with this bizarreness. Also, the writing flows nicely so far, and the music is very appealing, actually. Although a strange soundtrack for a horror game. It's like a hybrid between the sound you would get from a horror game and the music you would get from like a video essay when somebody's trying to keep the video flowing as they sail their stuff. Okay, so that's clearly me. That definitely established it, and now it's not just pointing up like it was before, and it's moved out to the street. So just move along here. So unlike Morrowind, we have a pretty clear map, and I imagine the whole game might take place on this single map, actually. Let's see. Wonder if it's safe to talk to this guy or not. Hey, buddy. Buddy? Anything I can do for you? What is the termitary? Two massive buildings on the eastern end of the eastern part of Earth. The termitary marks the district's border. Beyond that, there's only the abattoir and then the steppe itself. People do not belong there. Why? Well, they just don't. It's not a people place. But someone has to work there, right? Some folk do. The steppe people, the butchers. That's way outside of your areas of expertise, believe me. That was intriguing, my good man. Can I talk to you more? Just annoy the hell out of you? You can just ask a bunch of different places. Let's see. The warehouse is a district as well, right? It is, but there's not much to tell about it. It consists of two parts. The first part is where everything that the town exports is stored. Meat, sausage, ham, bone meal, and so on. The other one stores various hardware, and also the manufactured goods that the regular train delivers. How do I get there? That's in the knots. It's the southeasternmost part, to be precise, to the east of the station. The meat warehouses are the ones closer to the station. The hardware ones are closer to the town. There's a railroad track running between them. Thank you. Okay, maybe let's wait for more context before I talk to too many people about things that I don't really know for sure I'll want. Hello. Yeah, look at what are these? A razor. It's just a straight razor. You can give it to a teenager because they like to show off. An empty bottle. Can be filled with spring water. Water is high in demand in the townsfolk. Makes sense. Are those both the same guy? I think those both might have been the same guy. Huh. What the hell? There's a guy burning stuff over here. Oh, I thought something was knocked over, but that's just the front step of that house. Should I be worried about that symbol? What was that symbol? Huh. I don't know, they got a fire. I just would never have expected the soundtrack. Huh. There are different people. When I saw the second person, I thought it might have been a copy of the first person. Young man. Good morals and luck are great help in managing a small community without resorting to violence. Personal standing can work wonders. Sorry. Oh, wait. This seems rude. Oh, well. Sorry, I can't help but feasting my ass on your outfit. Who was the Mad Tailor? Huh? Dude, I'm sorry. What do you mean? I like our town. We're all one big family, but sometimes I get the feeling that we're all controlled by an unseen power. Our actions, but fiction. It's quite... You were lucky. Oh. Huh. Seems like the bottom option kicks you out of dialogue, even if it doesn't seem like it will. Kinda just want to see his reaction to me claiming he was lucky to have no free will, because that's a weird line. Ooh. The hell? What is that? Hey, do you know what that is? You look like you're looking at it. Man. I'm guessing these aren't characters. Like they might be randomly generated and have different amount of dialogue, and then... Or maybe I just don't know their names. And maybe you can learn their names. But this is definitely the same dialogue as before. Thought he might be looking at that thing up there. Oh, that is a building. Wow. Yeah, it's actually floating up there. Alright, well that's not my current goal, but what the hell? Also, is there a way to... Well, part of me is like, is there a way to up the draw distance, but also the spooky shit, that might be the spooky Silent Hill intentional thing. I've got 3 bug icons. What is that? I don't know what that meant. Huh. Well. I'm getting Morrowind vibes. Oh yeah, there it is. So that's it on the map. Okay, so this is not to scale. So this probably isn't that comically big either. Second block of the termitary, abattoir. So this is the termitary, and this is the abattoir. I don't know how to pronounce it. There's a weird little spiral down there. Can I click on this symbol? Whoa! Hi. Key. Gem potion. I don't know what that means. It's odd. Okay, so but that's not the scale. It's a weird feature to make the map look more interesting, which it does. It looks cool. But the outlandishness of some of the stuff I've seen is definitely taking me back to Morrowind a little bit, as opposed to the groundedness of many of the games I've played. Let's see. The daughter wanted to talk to me. She's supposed to be in the middle building. I don't know what that symbol is, but it's spooking me out still. Quick save. In case the game crashes, or I die abruptly for reasons I don't fully understand. Wooden swords, it looks like? Might be metal, hard to tell. Hey, daughter. There she is. Alright, interesting choice.
There's more life in me that can be lived.
You really went for like... What if my dress just showed where my nipples were?
There's more life in me that can be lived.
Just a strange design choice to have, like, here's where the nipples are, just on the outside of the dress. You resemble an adventurer rather than a doctor. How is it that you know me? I saw you in a dream. Don't flatter yourself. My desires have nothing to do with that. I simply saw you take us all by the throat. What else did you see in that dream? I'll tell you when I think I can trust you. Didn't you want to talk to me? I thought you wanted me to come here. You're an arrogant girl, aren't you?
Yes.
Alright. I have a lot to tell you, Bachelor Denkovsky, but I dare not. Until you meet with my uncle Georgiy. Otherwise, he'll rip my tongue out for disclosing a secret. Some strict morals your family has. They make much more sense than you may think. This is not a game, is it? For all that is holy, do speak to my uncle, and then come back to me. Otherwise, the excruciating anticipation will tear my heart to pieces. Alright, well we cannot put your heart at stake now, can we? Alright, so... oh, I pressed F. Sometimes I take my hand off the WASD when I'm talking, because I'm not going to be using it for a while. And then when I put it back, it's like, oh, crap, I missed the W and whatnot. Found my way over to the F. I'm sorry, is that a source of water? Nope. Could be an old fountain, could be a thing that holds candles. Could serve some other purpose. Maybe you're supposed to sit on it and spin. Howdy.
The town will meet its death at the hand of Simon's murderer. That much is certain.
Most venerable doctor, it is with great impatience that we have been expecting you. You need not delve into the minutiae of your business with us, since our family is well and acquainted with your scholarly work. We are also quite aware of the difficulties you are experiencing, and well prepared to do our utmost to support you. It hurts me all the more to be the one to inform you that Simon, my wow, that's a word I've never ever used. Consanguineous, probably, brother, the creator, keeper, and embodiment of all that surrounds us, has been murdered. Oh, well, that's not really good for the whole entire premise of me coming here, is it? Also, kudos for the relatively high quality photos of each character that they have. I assume they're all photos, right? I just got a bunch of people to cast each of the main characters. Gives you a bit more to go on than the 3D model. Well, the models are not terrible, though, for the age. Damn it. Why did that have to happen just before I arrived, right as I found the chance to prevail? Precisely. Why did it have to happen just before your arrival? Are you asking yourself the same question? I hope you don't see any connection between my arrival and the murder. In fact, I do see a connection. However, do not mistake it for the thought that it was you who murdered him. That's true. His connection that he's talking about is the idea that he may have been murdered because I was coming to study him, but that doesn't mean that I murdered him, because I wasn't here yet. What do you know? My brother was murdered last night, under the strangest circumstances. But for all the mystery surrounding his death, I'd rather eschew the notion that his departure was connected with whoever had visited Simon that evening. The visitor is a man of laudable rectitude and an old friend of our family. There are witnesses to testify that he and Simon did nothing but converse. Has it occurred to you that your brother could have died of a natural death? It won't be easy for you to accept it as fact, but this fact is not subject for debate. My brother could under no circumstances have died a natural death because he's literally a vampire. Are you implying you can prove that? I'd rather not waste our time explaining the entire situation to you. You'd rather not waste your time explaining the thing that is the whole reason I'm here? Alright. Even if it helps me substantiate the claims that you are justified to see as extraordinary. My dear doctor, I cannot imagine what kind of infernal aptitude the killer of Simon Kane must have, but Simon could not have died a natural death. So murder is the only feasible explanation. I do not doubt that your brother could fight death like no other, but there was not and could not be an immortal man. The psychological paradox is obvious, I grant you, and I am not going to try persuading you otherwise. I am not a strong player in the field of academic debate. But I repeat, under no circumstances could my brother die a natural death. Immortality is the greatest secret humanity is forbidden to possess. Still, my brother managed to break the seal that locked it away from everyone else. How? I will tell you who my brother was and who he has become if you find his murderer. For now, let me bring up the fact that Simon lived 157 years without being susceptible to any kind of disease. No influenza, no pneumonia, no hemorrhage, no organ failures or malignant growths have ever plagued him. So how old are you guys then? Are you also all immortal? Because then I could just move on to studying you guys, and if not, then were you guys just born way later than him? Did he have earlier siblings that died because so much time has passed? Yes, I believe in that. I came here to witness the possibility of such a phenomenon, but immortality. Isidore has done more than he thinks. I have a lingering feeling that time itself is using uncontestable powers to further its own intentions. What do you think? You think time? You think time is exerting force on us? Like, willfully? Like it's like time's alive? Is that what we're going for right now? Categories like time, nature, and fate deprive man of responsibility for what goes on around him. I was taught to avoid this worldview. It could be that mind is clouded by sorrow. But I cannot escape the feeling that your arrival was no coincidence. Your choice was made for you, my dear doctor. Let us not blame fate for it. Isidore wrote to you without making us aware. He took a risk that could have displeasured our family. Why do you speak the word fate with such disgust? I prefer the word time, in a fatalistic sense of the notion, of course. So Simon wasn't aware I would come. Even though we were uncertain of when you would arrive, my brother was looking forward to meeting you. The tragedy may have been a consequence of the actions he took in preparation of your arrival. Someone has taken a powerful piece from the chessboard, a piece upon which your position here depended. It is doubly regrettable that Simon was playing on your side. So you presume the queen knew of the blow and sacrificed itself for a pawn. But why? To grant you victory over death, was it not your ultimate aspiration? To help you, Simon seems to have played a very dangerous game with fate itself. He went out of his way to provide you with the body of evidence. What do you mean by that? Wouldn't have surviving been better for my evidence? What did he do? It is no importance to me what exactly he did. He took another leap for the stars and paid a terrible price for it. I repeat, he was murdered. The subject of importance here is the identity of the murderer. Everything has gone to rack and ruin. I wish I could take vengeance upon the person who ripped the life from this man. Do you want to help us, Doctor? Find the murderer for us. My brother Victor, who was in the wing next door. He would share some of his thoughts on the matter. Help us, and the reward will not disappoint you. Indeed, it seems that there are too many coincidences. Your brother's murder can just as well be called the murder of Bachelor Dakovsky. I will help you in any way I can. Huh. A little dramatic to say it's literally a murder of me, but okay. I am convinced that if there's anyone at all who can help us solve this puzzle, then it is you. The mission calls for someone as astute and inventive as yourself. If Isidore was an instrument of fate, then Simon's murder is a message that fate intended for... What? Oh, he's saying that the message is intended by fate. Then Simon's murder is a message that fate intended for you personally. Do not think I am inclined to blame you for that. I am not. How do you plan to look for the murderer? We will take our own measures. The only thing I expect from you is to be yourself. Do only what you think is required. Whatever you find out, whatever you do, whatever your day turns into, everything is a clue to a solution of this puzzle. I repeat, everything that is happening here is happening on your account. Are you just putting this entire town's fate in my hands the moment I get here? You have my sympathy. Oop. What's new? Oh, just the other hand? This is where Victor lives, the youngest of the three Kane brothers. He can tell me more about Simon's manner of death. Yeah, let's go over there next, then come back. It gives me updates. Apparently I'm an hour further into the game too, so that's a little concerning. Time does seem to fly by after all. Let's get to his brother then. We kind of have to rush a bit, don't we? I can just feel time passing. Oh my god. You can watch time passing. Oh wait. Is that the icon I was seeing? Was that thing where I had a little number on the corner of the screen, was that me picking up money without really fully recognizing that I was doing it? You just pick up money by walking over it like it's ammo in some games? Like Doom specifically, because a lot of games will have you pick up ammo by pressing an ammo button. Hello, creepy doll that's on your head. Hello, dismissive wife or something? Hello. Oh, he gets up to greet me. How polite. You could have opened that door so I don't have to walk around your whole house.
The true way to be deceived is to think oneself more knowing than others.
You guys are brothers? You look so much younger. Isn't your brother 150 years old, but you are like 30 or 40? Wait. How does that work? How does that work? In order to be an actual brother, a real blood brother, wouldn't you have to have one of your, at least one of the parents would have to be both of your parents, right? Like maybe one of them dies, but like but one of them at least has to survive. But if somebody gives birth to a guy that lives to be 150 years old, doesn't that mean that they were of age to give birth to somebody 150 years ago, but then they also gave birth to you like, I don't know, 40 years ago? If we guess that they were 20 at the time of the birth, that would mean, God, they'd be like 130 years old when you were born, I think. They'd be really old. I don't know. Maybe he's older than he looks. It's hard to tell. He definitely looks even younger with his anime face in the 3D model compared to the photo. I might go as high as 50 for the guy in the photo, maybe. But the other guy looked old as shit. And I get the idea of like the gimmick of like a bunch of family members born over a large period of time because they're like immortal or something. But the implication seems to only be that he's immortal so far. Otherwise, his death isn't even that much of a tragedy for me, because I could just study these guys. Maybe they don't know they're immortal yet. But that still raises the question of who gave birth to them, and was their person who gave birth to them also immortal? Are they still around? Until I get more evidence, I'm probably going to run with the assumption that they're adopted brothers or something. Because that's the only way I can reconcile the ages. The famous Dr. Denkovsky. Your arrival is a great honor for us. Victor Kane at your service. Daniel Denkovsky at yours. I foresee that the things that have become ordinary for us will probably make you feel uncomfortable and disturbed. I would like to compensate for that impression. You know, our small community has fallen out of the loop. Time leaves us behind. What do you mean? I mean the traditions. Games that we play with passion will most likely be of no interest to you. The people you meet here may seem eccentric, naive, or even somewhat deranged. Please, take it easy on us. Don't judge us too strictly. I hope we will be able to work in an atmosphere of mutual trust.
What?
What? Okay, so I thought they were responding in some way when the weird second dialogue happens. I think what's happening here is there's like a preemptive one-time dialogue that happens, and then when that's over, you exit the dialogue and re-enter it to do your normal dialogue or something. That's my best explanation of why the dialogue resets mid-conversation during these story bits, which didn't happen when I was talking to random people, because they would kick me out of their dialogue eventually. How can I help you? Georgiy has told me everything, which is to say he told me very little, but it was enough to astound me. He maintains that you can provide a more detailed account. So, you've agreed to help us? My only answer is I have. I mean, there's not really a game otherwise. I guess I can Alt F4 if I want to not help. I have. May I ask why? Because it's a video game. Let's see. I want to solve a puzzle. I even like having so little information. It's a challenge to my intellect. I am prepared to answer any questions you may have. When was Simon last seen? He sent Isidore home. Then, an hour later, he came to this hall to see us. He announced his plans to withdraw to the Focus and receive no one. He told us not to approach the Focus and to fast for a week, partaking in neither meat nor water. Then in the morning, he was found dead. Could he have been poisoned? No. He hadn't eaten or drunk anything for several days. And prior to that, he's only drunk wine from the old household stock. He would open the bottles himself. I mean, you can still syringe something through the cork. Technically. What made him take such precautions? I've never really thought about it. Indeed. But were they precautions at all? He was always conducting experiments on himself. Not only on his body, but on his time, his language, his way of thinking, even his fate. I thought we used time and fate as synonyms, but he said them as two things now. Huh. So this could have been a suicide? I don't think so. It's nearly an impossibility, but I don't have the right to tell you anything. My brother doesn't want us Kains to affect your line of thinking by giving you our interpretations of the facts. But you have. You have repeatedly given your interpretations of the facts already. Why not? It will benefit us too much if Simon's death is interpreted in a certain fashion, and damage us too much if it's interpreted in a certain other fashion. I will not elaborate on that. If you want us to wait. What? He's basically saying that if I draw a certain conclusion, it's bad for them, and if I draw a different conclusion, it's good for them. You kind of would think that they'd want to condition my thinking then. How was the body discovered? The servants discovered him in the morning. The room had been ransacked. Everything that was breakable had been broken. His disfigured, contorted body bore signs of terrible suffering. His neck was twisted, his spine broken. I think. No one has touched the body. It is currently inside the Focus and will remain there for the prescribed amount of time. Do you suspect anyone? No. All I know is that Isidore was with him that evening. No one can enter the Focus against Simon's will. Well, perhaps a higher being could, but no one else. Like an angel of death or something? Yeah, something like that. I'm not sure if you're being sarcastic. If you are, then allow me to say I do not share your feelings. I apologize. How did Simon himself get in there? He could perform far more impressive feats. There's a reason why the whole town revered him. Tell me honestly, dear Victor, I have to ask this because it's a strange question. Did Simon exist at all? Bravo, Doctor. There is indeed a spark of genius to you. Alas, yes. Yes, he did. Alas? It's not that I would benefit from his death. Alas, for that would be too simple an explanation. Simon, well and truly, did exist. That is exactly what's left everyone in disarray. It was so hard for them to accept his existence that the thought of his demise is now driving them mad. Like a cult? Or like they just have to fight so hard to believe in him that now that they don't, now that he's dead, it's like ruining all that investment. You were all his heirs. Wouldn't you all benefit from his death? Didn't the old man rather overstay his welcome in the world? His death is a challenge to our continued existence. We are neither insane nor suicidal. Who do you suspect? Just take a look around. Trust your intuition. Do whatever you like. Speak to whoever you feel the need to. Look for the murderer, doctor, and you will find them. Keep looking to the last breath. I am sure your rational thinking will help you. So Isidore's the only lead. How can I find him? I'll show you, but you must be careful. Simon's murderer, whoever they are, could not be an ordinary person. I can't imagine them even being a person. I feel it could only be fate wearing the guise of a mysterious monster. I don't believe in fate. Ah. He didn't really respond to that. This is where Isidore Burak lives. The man that had brought me to his remote place. He is the last person that saw Simon Kane alive. He's also really far away. Alright, time to explore the town, it looks like. See it all for the first time. Huh.
I fear that Simon's death is a symbolic event.
I fear that Simon's death is a symbolic event. I don't know if I'll be able to remember voices. I'm not really a voice actor to begin with, and I don't really have a lot of range. And I have a shitty memory for the concept of voices to begin with. So, when I talk to people, the voice might change from time to time. I just got 2 money again. I think I'm just picking up money. Yeah, I am. It was 1440 last time, and now it's 1442. We're just going across town, basically. Alright, time to explore. I've been warned that doing the main quest every day is very important. In general, the game's about racing against time. In fact, I think my Dead Rising comparison might bear more fruit than initially expected. Looks like people repeat a bit.